To start with, I've got to say, I've been reading some titles with some mid or bad art recently, and I don't know if that altered my bar to what I consider really good art, but I genuinely do think this is some killer art. I've learned with these shorter titles that you can't always trust the cover art, as oftentimes what you see on the cover is nowhere near close to what's in the story itself. That's not the case at all here. I'd actually say the cover is doing this title a disservice, particularly for Johan. I'm not going to say it's perfect by any means, but the art is super expressive, reasonably consistent, and just really aligns with my preferences. It's a sight for sore eyes for sure. I also have to give credit where credit is due. For a title that's only 6 episodes long, including the prologue, this tells an impressively cohesive story. I think part of it that works where many other shorts fail is that it doesn't try to overextend itself. It tells a very simple story with a straightforward goal. Johan is cursed with misfortune. He has to summon a god to fix his misfortune. The god turns out to be pretty useless and greedy, but while fulfilling their physical desires, he discovers that is how he finds his good luck. There's not a ton of fluff narrative-wise, so we get right to the problem, solution, sexy time, new problem, and then the final solution in quick succession. It's breakneck speed, which often isn't the best, but it works really well in this case. And it doesn't stop with Johan's goal. I was already pretty pleased that Johan had the full gambit of problem, solution, new problem, and then new solution in such a short story, but then we also got some growth on Chung's side too. I'm not going to pretend that Chung's side of the narrative is nearly as deeply explored or involved as Johan's, but there's much more substance there than I would have expected. There's a small mention that Chung is a snake god, not a dragon god, but there's not much mention beyond that, like why or how, but it's very much the Chekhov's gun in this scenario and ends up being key to Johan's ultimate solution. I won't spoil it because seeing it was so fun that I think it's worth reading for yourself, but I will say that I was surprised there was enough time to even consider Chung's growth and change in such a short narrative, and I loved it. This is one of those instances where the worst part of the story is that it ends. The length of the narrative is the weakest part simply because I'm greedy and desperately want more. I love tsundere style bottoms, which our snake god Chung is. I also love loud, goofy tops who can't catch a break like Johan. Then pair these two together in a relationship that starts 100% physical but transitions into something more emotional with a connection that transcends destiny, and I'm all over it. I would adore for this to one day get a more full lengthy release, but even as it is, it's a treat. I'll still be out there hoping, but I'm happy as it is.